Cards by the Hill. My name is Jane Hill. So with the recent mask cards I've been making, I thought I'd make a masquerade mask for a party or a gathering or a fancy dress event, something like that, using that mask die. I cannot tell you what a good purchase that was. I've mentioned before, I bought it off of eBay and it was only a few quid. It's not a flimsy die, so it's quite solid, and I'm using it for so many projects. If you come across one, I recommend it. So anyway, back to the project. I've cut out 5 layers of that mask, left it embossed, and just cut out the eyes of each one with a standing knife. If you use a knife, please be careful. Then on the back, of course, we've got the plain colour of the mask, of the back of the mask. So I've cut another one just to cover that up on the back. So that's got to be glued on. So obviously I've glued them all together. I didn't think you'd need to watch me glue 5 masks together. So that's going to be the back, so at least you don't see plain cardboard on the back. Then I left it under my vise to dry and flatten it out because it was quite bent where I'd been gluing so many together. So that's got to dry, and then, so I'm going to put that back under the vise. Then we're going to go around the outer edge with an Arteza brush marker in red, just to cover up all the cardboard on it. And then we can come back. Now, in the vise, I currently have a stick drying, which I've painted in gold. That's the Arteza Tempera Colours Gold. And that stick's going to attach to the middle on the back, like that. So it can be used as an actual mask. Okay, so I'm putting that back under the vise and we'll come back when that's dry. Okay, so for the masquerade mask, I've used Craft Perfect by Tonic in, I think it was Firestone Red or Fire Red. There we go. In Firestone Red. Okay, so back to our masquerade mask. And we're going to go around the outside with a red Arteza brush pen. Okay, and just fill in over the cardboard so you don't see so many layers. Whatever pen you've got, you know, is gonna work. Just take your time and fill it in. And if you get any on the card, don't worry, because it wipes straight off. I've already tested that theory. So yeah, just following it round Just getting rid of all the cardboard showing up. And if you want to, I mean, you can leave it showing if you want to. Don't have to cover it up. I might actually go around it with some braid, so I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to colour it in anyway, in case I don't. And it's just showing you there's another alternative. If you don't want to go around it with braid. I think that's already looking better. And try and get in as best you can. I know it's difficult with the layers of card. There we go. Now, let's get rid of some of this ink. Inky fingers again. But we've been around all the layers. If you see any bits that you missed, you can just go back over. As I say, you've got the option to cover it with braid or beading or anything you like. That's the other place I had to do it, on the inside of the eyes. Again, you don't have to. It's just to cover up the cardboard layers. Just got to do the other eye. Okay. Right, so I've also cut out from the same card these little wavy patterned edges to go on the top of the mask there. And then I've die cut 3 layers of this die here and stuck them together. Don't forget to cover the other side as well, because you can just see cardboard. And that was the Creatables by Marianne design. As you can see, there's a couple in there. So yeah, it's just a simple flourish. And I think that will be going on this side here. Like that. And then of course we've got our stick, which I painted in gold, which is going to go in the centre there. Might cover this in a bit of ribbon, not sure yet. So this is going on, this is going on. And I'm wondering whether I put another layer of mask on the top there on the inside to cover that up, because otherwise there's no way of covering that up really. Probably could if the flourish was right on the edge there. That does look very different, although it's the same card. And then of course these are going to be decorated, so don't worry about if you have any scrappy edges on them or anything. Yeah, so I'll probably glue that on and then add another layer of the mask just to cover that up. And go from there. Okay, so I've stuck the flourish on, and I've also attached it to the top of the mask so it doesn't go anywhere. I've covered the stick in some gold ribbon just to add a little bit of shine to it, and we painted that, remember, so you can't see any stick through showing. Now in this corner, obviously it's a bit of a mess where the flourish is stuck and a small part of the mask has come away. That's not a problem. So I've got some ribbon, all different types and colours here. I've got some gold sparkly ribbon, some red and white stripes, some thick red and white stripes, and some gold very thin ridged ribbon. Okay, so what we're going to do is cut some lengths of this. I think maybe just a bit shorter than the stick. Yeah, so about that length, which is, let's have a look, about 5.5 inches. So some pieces of that. Excuse the fingers, obviously it's the ink that was playing around with. So as many as you like, whatever colours you like. think we'll probably have an extra gold one. Okay, now we're going to put these together, but we're going to put them together so the brad is facing the back. So your ribbon has got to go on backwards. Okay, so we want to mix them up a little bit. Don't want the golds all together like that. So we've got a little collection of them, and then the brad that we're going to put on is going to be facing the back. So in here I've got an assortment, and I've got some red heart ones, gold heart ones, leaves, flowers, red heart one, yeah. Right, so we're going to make a hole through the ribbons with a pokey. Straight through the lot. Make sure your ribbon's facing backwards. Then in goes the brad. Straight through the 5 ribbons. Position it where you want. And then just open it up for a minute. We're going to trim around all the tops of the ribbon. So it's not ratty. Okay, so that's going to go on like that and cover up that little mess. And we're going to cut these ends shorter with a pair of pliers. Watch your fingers. So that can now go and cover up that section there. Like that, and you'll get your ribbons coming down at the front. So that's going to be glued on with hot glue. Okay, there we are. So that's glued on. Okay, so I've got a selection of tassels. Red one, hopefully without being too scraggy looking. Or a gold one. Okay, so if you have a ratty tassel, like you saw in my box, these ones here, all you have to do is put them under a tap, let them dry overnight, and then they come out like that. So don't be disheartened if your tassels look a little bit worse for wear. Now I've cut this one off, the braiding, and I'm just going to glue the two ends together with hot glue. That's going behind with the heart brad, and then that's that side done. Then we've got to concentrate on decorating the waves here and maybe a little bit of decoration on the mask. Then it's finished. So, good project to do with kids. You can make it yourself for a gift. You can add it to a party bag. You know, all sorts of options with it. Highly recommend getting the dye if you can. So I'm just heating the hot glue up, and then we can get that stuck on. So yeah, don't be disheartened if your tassels look a little bit ratty. As I say, if you just put them under water, like that one for example, that's how that looked originally. Put it under water, leave it to dry overnight, and they'll all flatten out. Okay, so we're going to do that part next. I need to go and find some beads and things for here. Okay, so heat gun's ready, glue gun's ready. I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue on the top there and connect it to the other side. And then mask goes over, that's going to be attached there, and we're going to have a heart brad over the top. So that covers all that mess up on this side. So yeah, be careful if you do use the embossed part of the dies, because they can pull off. Once you start gluing things and working with things, they can start pulling off the pieces of embossed. There we go. So that's not too bad at all now. So all we need to do is embellish these, something around the mask, and it's finished. And if you have flourishes that are already cut out, cardboard flourishes, I've used that on a recent project. If you've got them already cut out, you can add those instead if you haven't got a die. Okay, so if you head over to part 2, you'll see the remainder of the video. Sorry it's in 2 parts again, but with the uploading situation on YouTube, over half an hour, I have too many problems. So enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.